why it always takes YouTube like half a second to go live, but it's that's just whatever. Today is Monday. Hi, welcome. You're probably not watching this live, but if you're watching this back, I'm back this week. I skipped the recap last week. I had a life. This week I'm back to having no life, so I'm here. I'm here. I brought you guys a guest, so I never do the intro. So tell the people.
Oh, hello. I am Spence. It is actually my birthday.
I didn't know it was your birthday.
Yeah,
Happy
it is
birthday.
my birthday. I'm JTRB1. It's starting to become a real life ambition more than a fantasy, as he doesn't get the workload we're hoping for. But yeah, fine.
And whose fault is that?
Frank Reich, pretty much. Yeah.
Frank Reich. I think I would fire him. I don't like him.
I agree. He's quickly become my least favorite head coach. He's miserable at play calling in the goal line. He just lines up with everybody inside, no wide receivers out, and then they run up the middle, and then he's like, why did we not get in the end zone? Like, how did we not score a touchdown? It's like, maybe because the defense knew exactly what you were doing. I don't know, but very frustrating.
Life is all about those frustrations.
Yeah, especially in fantasy, especially this year.
I know. Well, that's every year at this point.
Yeah, I mean, true. It feels like more this year because we're living here. We're living now.
Yeah, well, it always feels like more now, right?
Yeah. We'll look back and be like, man, that season was great. I don't even remember an injury. Yeah.
Oh, there's been so many. I mean, we could just run through all the news. I mean, this is like a recap type show, but there, as usual, injuries.
Miserable.
The worst thing. So, Juju.
Well, we should talk about your guy first.
Which one is my guy?
Barkley.
I don't like Barkley.
Well, I just meant the Giants.
As a Giants fan, sure. Yeah. But you co-host a podcast with someone who's a big Barkley fan, and I'm the one who always no, you're way overvaluing Barkley. So
I don't know. I'm getting way closer. Like, I think I'm gonna be able to buy him a lot in Dynasty now that he's got a little injury going on.
I'm done now. 3 strikes.
Oh, you're out.
3 strikes. I don't want to say I'm out, but like 3 strikes. I mean, another injury. It's 1 injury too many for me. It's going to be 1 injury too many. I'm never going to have Barkley again. He's always going to be, at this point, he's always going to be priced. And this is actually interesting. He's always going to be priced now at a higher point than I'm going to be willing to value him. Because now I've accepted that Barkley's injury prone. It's too many injuries. It's been enough times that I'm now, okay, it's just like how George Kittle, this 1 injury, now I accept it. He's injury prone. George Kittle, injury prone. Dalvin Cook this season. More injuries? Okay, it's been enough times, enough injuries for me. He's, I put him in that group. So he's injury prone. So I put Barkley now, fair or unfair, I put him in the group of injury prone. And injury prone, I don't want that. I don't want that for a high-priced asset. I'm just not going to have an injury prone, high-priced asset ever. So I will never acquire another Saquon Barkley share because he's just going to be, other people are going to draft him. Other people are going to trade for him. It just won't be me. Yeah. Where would you rank him in Dynasty right now? You got to rank him right now.
Now?
Yeah.
I'll say 4.
No, he's not going to be that
high.
No,
I'll say 5. Yeah, obviously JT is my guy, so JT. And then some combination of CMC, Swift, and Gibson in the top 3, or the 2 to 4, and then Barkley there at 5. I'm super ageist. I know you are too. So like guys like Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, those Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, those guys are not up in the front for me anymore when you're talking about Dynasty. Obviously in a contender, like instance, you can move those. You can elevate how much you would pay for a certain player, but I'm not going to rank them according to that. I'm going to rank them according to how I would draft them. And that's not, Derrick Henry, I'm not drafting anytime soon. And same with Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, for me, it's really, I have McCaffrey 1, Taylor 2. I had Barkley 3. That's going to change. Yeah. I had Najee 4. Swift 5.
Swift.
So I'm gonna have Najee and Swift way ahead of him. So for me, it's really Gibson, who I dislike and have never liked, really, compared to others, versus Barkley. So it'll be Barkley will either be 5 or 6. My guess is I'm going to end up, depending on how much time it seems like Barkley's going to miss, if this is going to be more, they put him on IR and this is going to be 4 weeks, then I probably have, well, we don't know. I mean, they said 2 to 4.
It's possible, yeah.
So it's possible they could put him on IR. It's going to be 2 weeks missed minimum is what the last sleeper thing said. So 2 weeks is all. But, it didn't look good. If it doesn't take, people were telling me, oh, he's going to come back next week. I'm sorry. I don't think I need to be a doctor to look at that ankle and be like, there's no way he's playing next week. I mean, you saw the picture. I saw the picture. There's no way he's playing. I mean, those people were just out of their minds. I don't know what they were talking about. There was just no way. So,
they play the Rams next week.
Well, it could be a long time. I mean, it could be a long time before he comes back. And who knows if he's going to be effective at this point with this many injuries. It's not like he was good, but he wasn't Saquon Barkley. He wasn't, even in week 3 and 4, he wasn't Saquon Barkley. He wasn't.
Better, he was trending. That's what I would call it.
But he wasn't. We didn't see him return to being Saquon Barkley. And we didn't see that in 2020 either. He wasn't good in the game he played. So when was the last time we saw him be Saquon Barkley? That little stretch at the end of 2019? He had, after he returned from the high ankle sprain, he had a good stretch, 5-6 games where he was
already rare. There is what do you want to call it? Research on players coming back from serious injuries and how they perform, and it is correct to lower your expectations every time, because Barkley to come back after the high ankle sprain and then play as well as he did was an outlier. That was Barkley doing that. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about it, at least.
I don't know. At this point, it's brutal.
My biggest knock on Barkley, the reason I've never had any shares up until hopefully soon, is because Eli Manning was the key that unlocked him.
I know.
And that passing volume was just insane. It's like what we were dealing with Najee Harris now, with Big Ben, who can't move. You know what I mean? It was the same thing with Eli Manning. But Daniel Jones can run. He's athletic. He can run well. He doesn't have to throw it to Barkley, but he does still. And the weeks 3 and 4 were really good for what I needed to see to buy back in. But yeah, with the injury and with Daniel Jones also being out, I don't know. I'm interested to see. This whole Giants team is really banged up, so I feel sorry for you as a fan. But Barkley, I'll be buying. I bought last year, and then I sold right at the end of offseason. But I'll be interested. I'm a big injury buyer. I'm huge on that. I love that.
As you know.
Yeah, I know you don't, but I personally love that. I bought CMC, I bought Barkley, I bought everybody. And then I like to turn them into, more what do you want to call them? Steady assets, younger, less room for error assets.
I'm not always an injury fader, but I generally won't risk an injury-prone, high-priced asset ever. So Saquon Barkley will essentially be it's out of my dynasty portfolio, just like Dalvin Cook before him.
Yeah.
And, other guys that were never in there because of this reason. So, Saquon Barkley is essentially not a part of my dynasty game anymore. Yeah, he'll be there.
Unfortunate.
For someone else.
It is sometimes league dependent though, because it sometimes you can just get in a league and
it's possible.
Everybody's going to be as low as you. Yeah.
It's possible, but what's going to happen is his price is going to go back up for everyone else when he returns, but not for me. His price is going to stay down where I move him. So if I were
I get that.
So I'm not going to be acquiring any new shares next offseason. I'm not going to be trading for any now. And I'm going to be trading away the shares that I have if and when he comes back. So by this season being over, Saquon Barkley and I will no longer have any time together in Dynasty. Like I said, similar to Dalvin Cook before.
What are you taking now? I'm
probably going to try to wait because he's going to come back this season. I'm going to wait I don't want to see it. I'm going to wait for the week. I don't want to see it because I think it's one more injury and he's done. One more injury and he's done. One more injury and you're looking at him valued like David Montgomery.
Right.
Like, seriously. Like, one more. He just lost his high-end value. One more injury and he loses most of his, like, respect. You know, seriously. Like, if he tore his ACL in the week he came back, you're looking at J.K. Dobbins type value going forward.
I thought he was already there. That's where I thought he was after last season, but people weren't with me. But like you're saying, 3 strikes is a fair testament.
3 strikes.
People weren't with me after last year. Like, I bought in so that I knew I could sell later, but I still didn't believe. You know what I mean? Coming into this season, week 1, week 2, I was like, oh, you know what I mean? This pitch count, I don't know. He's still not 100%. And then week 3, week 4, I was like, ooh, maybe I regret my decisions. Like, maybe he was kind of back. But then obviously I got bailed out. That's what happened. I got bailed out.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I don't spend a lot of time thinking about what my process was in the past, honestly. I mostly look forward.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad now that I'll be able to go get shares again, personally, for me.
So, more injuries. Juju Smith-Schuster has a shoulder. I don't know when the shoulder injury happened because the play that they showed us that he was injured on was a knee injury. So I don't know when he hurt his shoulder, but at some point he hurt his shoulder. He's going to get surgery. He's going to be out for the rest of the season. So, rest in peace.
Rest in peace. I mean, I'm going to what I would do with Juju if I owned him, I would just hold. You're not getting anything back in value, in my opinion. Yeah, and then if you like Juju, I'll be going out and sending the most lowball offers that everybody hates and seeing what sticks. Yeah, I'm going to be doing that.
So, I will give you some names of players I would prefer to have over Juju Smith-Schuster at this point.
Yeah.
Corey Davis. Michael Gallup.
Juju, Gallup.
No, I'm just listing players I'd prefer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was saying which ones
I prefer these players. I would prefer them. Corey Davis, Michael Gallup, Tyler Boyd, Henry Ruggs.
That's terrible.
And, you know, my favorite one, as much as, you know, I feel bad that Juju's hurt, obviously. But as someone who has said this for many years, my favorite one, Antonio Brown. I'd rather have
Dynasty?
Antonio Brown. I would. I think you have more. I think you're better off with this one season from Antonio Brown than the rest of Juju's career. I think Juju's finished. I personally think Juju's finished. I think Juju's going to be. Does it do you any good to have? I mean, really, what I think is like, is Jameson Crowder doing you any good right now? That's what I think you're getting.
It's a flex play.
But I think I'd rather have the rest of this season from Antonio Brown than years of Jamison Crowder. Like, I'm just done. I mean, there are other guys I would like too. I mean, I'd rather have Henry Ruggs. Maybe Henry Ruggs breaks out this year and the rest of the year. I'd rather at least have a chance at that than just wait for Juju to come back. I don't like waiting. Waiting for someone who isn't good, who's now injured, I'm not waiting for that. So, like, I mean, I'd rather have Henry Ruggs. I'd rather take the chance that Curtis Samuel reemerges. I'd rather have Curtis Samuel.
No shot.
I just think Juju's finished, personally.
Not Curtis Samuel though.
I would. I'd rather have Will Fuller. Same thing.
I mean, that's like the same exact situation though. Except Will Fuller is what, 3-4 years older?
I mean, Will Fuller has been fantasy relevant and high end way more recently than Juju.
With Deshaun Watson.
I understand.
He's not playing with Tua. Well, actually, he's not playing, but.
Well, okay, he's probably better off with Brissett. But, you know, people didn't need to hear that. They already know that. They know.
I think I'm going to get a lot of Juju this year.
I'm done. Yeah, I'm done.
He's too young. That's the thing. He's just.
I don't care.
Too much production at too young of an age. I can't get out. It's a curse. I can't do it.
I don't go.
It can burn me a million times. I'm gonna stick with it.
Who do you think, guys, after this year? Who do you think is going to have totaled more production from 2019 to 2021? Juju Smith-Schuster or Christian Kirk?
Well, Christian Kirk.
Right, and those two players are the same age. Almost exactly.
Yeah.
But I don't see people banging down the door to have Christian Kirk on their dynasty team.
That's me.
Oh, maybe you do.
I love Christian Kirk. That's
Right?
why I love Juju.
Oh,
I
okay,
love
but
them
you're
both.
banging down the door for Christian Kirk. But Juju, you can get someone who's produced almost exactly the same, who hasn't missed a bunch of time, and who isn't now dealing with an injury, who's also going to hit free agency next offseason, who's almost the exact same age,
Who do you
has the
think
same.
fetches the higher dollar this year, this offseason? Who do you think? For
Nobody
one,
wanted Juju last offseason.
Do you think Juju and Kirk will leave?
Yes. Oh, I do.
So
Kirk is done.
Who do you think gets more money?
Kirk stays healthy. Kirk.
Yeah. See, I disagree. I think
Kirk
Juju
stays
will
healthy.
get more money.
People don't want to pay injured people. Another injury? I mean, what has Juju done? I mean, what difference? I said this earlier today. Juju goes out of the game. Does the offense even miss him? No. It's like he wasn't even there. He made no difference. It was no difference with him out of the game. If anything, the offense looked better because they weren't wasting time looking at him.
He is the best wide receiver 4 in the league, okay? I don't want to hear
I think Juju, James Washington, best wide receiver 4, he wasn't even playing.
Wide receiver 5.
Well, Washington was out this week.
I'm saying Najee Harris is wide receiver 3.
Oh, Najee Harris is a very good player. But, yeah. I mean, I think Juju Smith-Schuster has to take like a 1-year, $4 million deal. That's what I think he gets.
I don't think it'll happen. I don't know.
He got 1 year, 8 this year. You think he gets more? More after a season of nothing and another injury? Why would he?
Yeah, he got offered more from the Ravens, and I don't know how much.
Sure, but the Ravens was 1
similar.
and 8.3 with $2 million in incentives. No one offered him a big deal.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure why his price would go up after this year. He looked terrible, and now he's hurt. I don't want to. I'm not going to buy Juju. I don't know what I would do if I had him. Probably hold him, but I'm certainly not going to buy.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is he gets to just sit in your IR.
Yeah, but I don't want to buy. That's why I'm saying I'd hold him if I had it.
It's not like he was expensive to acquire either.
Well, it depends on when you acquired him.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Like
he got him like 2 or 3 years ago. You're not.
Then you paid an arm and a leg, and now you have nothing.
Yeah, you're not.
So depends on when you acquired him. But yeah, Juju. I think it's Juju himself it was irrelevant anyway. So there's no point in talking about him. The relevant people are now. I think Chase Claypool is actually going to be a little bit more reliable. I think.
Yeah, I like that. The floor is higher on Claypool now.
Well, Deontay was always good, but now I think Chase Claypool is going to be more of a borderline wide receiver 2 instead of a back end wide receiver 3, which is what he was going to be with Juju in the lineup. Juju was like a wide receiver 5, but take a wide receiver 5 out and you go from a back end 3 to wide receiver 24, 25. So.
Yeah. Well, that's his floor. I feel like Claypool's floor is now rising, and his ceiling is like relatively the same. We're hoping for a 50-yard touchdown
I agree.
catch.
I totally agree.
If he doesn't get the 50-yard touchdown catch in that game, then hopefully we're just looking at still solid production, like 10 points.
Oh, but that's exactly. I totally agree. Like you're less likely to get a goose egg from Claypool now.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel comfortable starting him every week.
I did already because I got him in a lot of places and he wasn't cheap. I'll tell you.
Well, I mean, sure, but just because you have to start him didn't mean you were comfortable starting him.
Now I'm comfy. I'm sitting pretty. Yeah.
So, okay, a couple more things. Tom Brady hurt his hand. It's Tom Brady. He's going to be fine. Yeah, unfortunately, Max Williams tore his major season-ending knee injury. Watch this open the door for Rondale Moore because now they're going to.
Yeah, it could.
They don't have another tight end, so they're going to go back to 10 personnel now. And Rondale Moore is. I hope you still have him because he's going to bust out.
We talked about this on the newsroom, man. That wide receiver room is crazy. Like AJ Green doing really well. Christian Kirk, he has his in and out games like always, but his target share is there. And obviously DeAndre Hopkins. Now you got Rondale Moore. Chase Edmonds been in the mix a ton.
Edmonds has been good.
Yeah, and then you have James Conner taking all of the goal line.
Who actually hasn't been bad.
The goal line carries. Who is that?
He's been a plotter, but he hasn't been bad.
Edmonds?
Connor.
Oh, Connor. Yeah, no, he's a plotter. Yeah, I mean, he scores the touchdowns, you're happy you started him, and they're I don't know what you want to call it, like their over under, you know what I mean? Their projected total is so high in their games that he's scoring touchdowns every time because that's just like the script that they have, the teams they're playing against. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I drafted a lot of James Conner. I was hoping to see more receiving work. Chase Edmonds is kind of taking all of it, but it's
Sucks.
fine. He doesn't get touchdowns, so both of them are like flexers. Like I would probably start Edmonds in a running back spot, maybe Connor in a flex. I don't know. It's kind of miserable either way, to be honest. Especially if Rondell Moore does get more involved, because he actually is third on the chart for goal line carries.
It's weird, but he is.
Yeah.
Okay, a couple of. So the Bengals play Samaje Perine on the COVID list. I don't
know.
Pick up Chris Evans and
He scored
Dynasty.
a touchdown though, right?
Yep.
Last week. Yeah.
Receiving touchdown.
Yeah. AJ Dillon too. How crazy was that?
I
don't know.
I mean, yeah. Joe Burrow was released from the hospital with his throat contusion. Okay.
Dude, did you look at the comments of that? That was hilarious.
Someone
was like, "What's a throat contusion?" And yeah, I'm sure you can think of the responses.
Yes, I can.
That was funny.
And Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Now that's news right there.
Oh, Clyde.
Who are you picking up?
Darrell Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like him. I don't like McKinnon either.
McKinnon was washed 2 years ago.
Yeah, I don't like either, to be honest with you. Because like CEH was like, okay, he gets he gets talked down a lot because I think people paid a lot and they're disappointed, whatever, blah blah blah. But he's been doing really well, especially on the ground. But it's not been easy. Like he's been doing it, in my opinion. So I don't expect Darrell. Like we saw Damian Williams and Khalil Herbert come in with the Bears and do well, in my opinion. I don't think that's going to happen with the Chiefs. I don't think that they're going to support that run game like the Bears would. And so I'm not really expecting much from either Williams or McKinnon.
Well, Darrell was getting the goal line carries anyway.
Well, as always, though.
Right. But if he adds a little bit, I mean, look, I had Clyde ranked decently before week to week. So Darrell's probably going to be a back-end RB2 just because he has to be.
I think if he doesn't score a touchdown, like he's almost dud worthy. Like he could score less than 5 points.
He pass blocks better than Clyde. I mean, he was getting more receptions than Clyde.
Yeah.
I'm honestly not sure that you're going to see any difference fantasy-wise between Clyde and Darrell Williams, if any.
Maybe. I mean, rushing usage doesn't matter as much as I would like it to.
Clyde was getting more carries and doing better with them, but Darrell's more likely to have a rushing touchdown and more likely to have catches. So if you kind of can't
I'm with you.
Things out, even though Clyde's more valuable for the Chiefs, but honestly, like I'm not sure fantasy-wise that I'm going to rank Darrell that differently than I rank Clyde week to week. Clyde's not like I had Clyde very high.
Yeah, I mean low-end RB2, yeah, it doesn't really matter.
No. We'll see, but it's just something to keep in mind. Clyde, I think this is the end for Clyde, dynasty-wise at least. It's just I think people have too many bad tastes in their mouths with Clyde.
A lot of people do.
I'd definitely rather just
first round capital though. Like I mean, it keeps you invested. You know what I mean?
It's not keeping me invested with Josh Jacobs.
Well, he's like older. Yeah, I mean he's still young.
Oh, really? Josh Jacobs is 23. It's 1 month older than Najee Harris.
Yeah, my big thing with Josh Jacobs is freaking. I mean, we can always come back to it. Yeah, they're dirty. That's funny. It's just Gruden. Gruden doesn't know how to utilize players like to the best of their ability. The only one he's been able to figure out is Darren Waller. Like he's just now bringing Hunter Renfrow into the scene, like as a stud when he's been on that roster for a while. And then you see Bryan Edwards and Henry Ruggs. One of them's really athletic. One of them's like a talented football player. And, I mean, you can come to your own conclusions on that. And nothing from like either of them. You know what I mean?
Nothing.
Like that's wrong. You know what I mean? I get they're not the best profiles, either of them, coming from college, but they could do something as the number 2 option on that team or number 3. And especially with Derek Carr throwing it how he has been. I mean, kind of lackluster the past week or two, but I don't know. I think Gruden is poor at utilizing players to their best ability, and that's where Josh Jacobs is. I mean, you saw them pay what? Kenyon Drake a ton of money. What was it, $10 million or something
To
stupid?
not use them at all.
Yeah, to just not use him at all. You know what I mean? And he's a good pass catcher. He's a good pass catcher. He's decent at pass blocking. Not maybe the same as Josh Jacobs, maybe better. Who knows? But to not be utilized at all is just absurd. And then to tear down the whole O-line and then bring it back, and it's like maybe better. It's like mediocrely better. I don't know. I think that he's just not doing what I don't know. He doesn't know how to utilize players, at least for real life. In fantasy, I mean, none of them are interesting to me really, except outside of Darren Waller.
Yeah, I mean, this has kind of been a weird season, honestly. Like, it's been kind of the whole thing.
Yeah, with like the wide receiver room and the Raiders.
No, just everything. The whole season, every team. It's the fantasy in general.
Yeah, I mean the Eagles, Miles Sanders has been weird.
Yeah, there's just been a lot. Well, here I have something exciting though. Something exciting. Yes, there's a lot of injuries. I know.
Yeah, a lot of injuries.
I have something exciting. So I'm too lazy to go through all of the games fully, but I have a few things I want to talk about. So from the London game, that was a big waste of time for everyone to wake up for. How do we feel about Kyle Pitts' 9 receptions for 119 yards and a touchdown? Do we like that?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm not expecting that next week, but I like it.
Why not?
Because Calvin Ridley will be back. Yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
I see.
I think Kyle Pitts is going to be amazing, but people still need to temper expectations. I'm expecting more of the past 4 weeks than last week, which is fine. Like, he'll still finish top 12 as long as he continues to get 5 targets for 3 to 4 catches a week with 40 yards with a touchdown here or there. Like, he's startable for sure. Every week you're starting him.
Oh yeah, but people were starting him.
Yeah. 2 touchdowns a week standard.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes when you're not playing the Jets.
Yeah, true.
Next week is the Dolphins, but then after that is the Panthers, the Saints, Cowboys, and Patriots. It's not going to be.
No, I don't like any of those.
Yeah, I don't like that. So we'll see how Matty Ice does. But yeah, that game was kind of quiet, really. It was just, Cordell Patterson had a decent game, but it was really just Kyle Pitts. Was the big takeaway.
Ty Johnson had a touchdown too, right?
Yeah, but who cares?
Yeah, I know. We're still hoping, but
nobody cares.
It's dead.
All right, Packers and Bengals. Okay. Devontae Adams had 11 receptions for 206 yards and a touchdown.
Big game.
We like that.
Yeah, we like that.
Everyone else in that whole receiving core, forget it.
I'm not. I mean, yeah, not in Dynasty or redraft, really.
Unfortunately, to me, it also looks like just Amari Rodgers is just not a thing.
Oh, no, yeah.
That one.
I thought we knew that, though. I thought that was already written off.
No one was talking about it, but...
Oh, okay. That's fine. I just saw week 1, week 2, he didn't play a snap, and I was like, okay, I'm done.
I guess, yeah. We don't have a lot of patience these days. If you'd given up on Kadarius Toney after the first 2 weeks, you'd be very sorry right now.
I did do that. I did exactly that, and I am, yes. But credit where credit's due. He had snaps and targets.
Very few of them. Very few of them. As a Giants fan, I know it was not many.
Yeah.
I know it was not many. I know I was very angry.
It was more than Amari Rodgers, I'll tell you.
I was calling for Jason Garrett's head almost immediately. But yeah, from Packers, there's not much to take away from that game really at all. Jamar Chase.
It's my guy.
Is he?
He's not my guy. I'm not going to claim him, but Yeah, I
I
feel
feel like
like
Ryan has Jamar Chase on lock from
no,
your guys' show.
no, I do.
Is it you?
Yeah,
I
no,
mean, I was one of the bigger Chase people out there also.
I acquired 8 shares in 3 weeks. When the preseason, or actually, I acquired 1 share before the preseason, and then I acquired 7 shares during preseason, during the drop season, and I've never been happier. I've been banging the drum.
So where does Jamar Chase rank in your Dynasty wide receiver rankings?
Dang, I almost put this tweet out too, but I didn't. So Justin Jefferson, AJ Brown, DK Metcalf, Stephon Diggs, and Tyreek Hill. So right now, he's in that 6 to 8 range with DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin, and Jamar Chase.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
You know where I have him.
Not at that high.
I have him Dynasty wide receiver too.
Would do 2?
Yes.
Dang, I wish I could be as cool as you. I want to be there. I want to be
Now,
there.
that might take you a while to get there.
Well, no, I had said before that the only players that I would not trade straight up for Jamar Chase was Juju and AJ Brown. Or not Juju, sorry. Justin Jefferson and AJ Brown. Justin Jefferson and AJ Brown were the only 2 players that I would not trade straight up. So I'm assuming you have it Justin Jefferson at the top and Jamar Chase right under him.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really on board with that. But as far as dynasty ranks, like in a rebuild rank, I have them like that. I have them Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, then AJ Brown.
Well, I just have concerns. I have concerns with the other guys who I had ahead of him previously. I mean, DK Metcalf. Oh, you were just talking about a contender. What?
I was really I did an article on the top 5 wide receivers in Dynasty in like May or something, and DK Metcalf was one of the guys, and I was dumbfounded. I didn't like DK Metcalf for a long time, but after I did the article, I was like, okay, maybe I was too low because I actually had him outside my top 5. But then after looking at it, I had to move him up.
Like, what I mean by that is I have 0 concerns with Justin Jefferson. 0.
None.
Yeah. Whereas everyone else, I have some concerns. DK Metcalf, I mean, inconsistent from time to time. And now no Russell Wilson for a while. You know,
but Gino look good, right?
No.
The same?
Okay. He looked, just because he looked better than I thought he would is better than I thought he would, and good are not the same thing.
That's fair.
I mean, Tyreek Hill is older. He also has, But
I mean, Metcalf this year has been great.
No, he has been
lowest
great.
Scoring game was 11 points.
No, there's nothing wrong with DK Metcalf. Jamar Chase is younger, probably has he has a more certain quarterback situation. I think Russ is gone after this year.
I've been banging the drum for that since last year. When the rumors started between the Bears and the Seahawks, I wanted Wilson to go to the Bears. Because I just feel like for one, Pete Carroll's never going to give it up, but I think they're in rebuild mode. They need to go into rebuild mode. They need to ship Tyler Lockett. They need to ship Russell Wilson, and start over because that Legion it's done. They're old. They're gone.
No, I get it.
So that's just where I'm at with them. I've been on that wave for a little while now. So I'm with you.
I don't really see, other than Justin Jefferson, why I would rank anyone else above Jamar Chase. I have too many. Jamar Chase is younger, and he's the new hotness always carries value. Like, everyone else has major concerns. I mean, AJ Brown injured now.
I don't know what's going on with AJ Brown.
I don't know what's going on with him, but that's a concern, right? I mean, you have to be concerned about it. And he's almost 3 years older than Jamar Chase. So
but I still don't know what's wrong with DK Metcalf. I mean, the inconsistency is fine, and Russell, but I don't care about quarterbacks. We're looking at Kirk Cousins as Justin Jefferson's QB. Not bad, but also not amazing. I'm not expecting Geno Smith to start for a long time.
Right, but you're not going to be able to replace Russell Wilson. Whoever the next quarterback is going to be a downgrade. It's not going to be an upgrade. It's going to be a downgrade.
Yeah.
It's going to be worse. So that's what I'm saying is it's going to be a downgrade. So whatever he was doing before, downgrade it because it's gonna be worse. That's
What if
all.
he doesn't leave though?
Well, then he doesn't leave. I mean, but it's a concern, right? I mean, it's something. It's a risk. It's a risk you have to build in. And also, they say Russell Wilson's going to return in 4 weeks, but you don't know that. Could be
But
6.
they also said Kirk Cousins, might leave too.
I don't really
Does
like.
that care? Does that matter?
I think Kirk Cousins is replaceable.
Okay.
I think you could put in a lot of guys and get similar production to Kirk Cousins. So I don't care.
I don't know if they would be able to. I
Russell
don't know if
Wilson's not better
anybody.
than Kirk Cousins.
Someone has to be better than Kirk Cousins, in my opinion, to be able to support Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson.
Adam Thielen was non-existent. We'll get to
He
that.
gets touchdowns,
But where was he this week? He wasn't even there.
Yeah, fair.
He's going to be third. I mean, he's already 31. I mean, how long? I think he's on the way out the door.
Yeah, and I remember coming to this into week 1 or whatever, and people were banging the drum. But I mean, he's not been terrible. He's not been great. He's in the middle.
Yeah, and then why would I prefer CeeDee Lamb over Chase?
Oh no, I didn't pitch CeeDee Lamb. Nope, don't give me that one. I'm all with you. Chase all day.
But that's it, really.
Yeah.
There's no one else.
Well, who did I? Oh, Stephon Diggs and Tyreek Hill. Obviously, they're a little older. Both 27. Both 27, aren't they?
But Stephon Diggs has been. I mean, has Stephon Diggs really even been all that?
I mean, he's not started off the year like wide receiver 3, but he's also not been bad. But he also only scored 1 touchdown. But
Stephon Diggs. If you drafted Stephon Diggs in the early second round of a startup this offseason, 1 QB, or late second in Superflex, you're not happy. You're not happy with what he's given you.
No, I can see that.
He's not good enough.
All right, I'm with you. I'm moving.
Not good enough.
I'm with you. What about
he's
Tyreek
someone
Hill?
I moved way down. He's someone I'm way down for me.
Yeah.
I'm
what about Tyreek Hill?
Tyreek Hill, I trust more because he has Mahomes.
Yeah. So yeah, but where is he at?
Tyreek Hill
4. 4 behind DK.
Yeah, Metcalf 3, Hill 4.
AJ Brown at 5 or is it
Brown 5 and Lamb 6?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you there. They're all the same players. They're just intermingled.
DJ Moore 7.
You're just a little younger than me. I think that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, DJ Moore.
The big thing is Jamar Chase is crazy because I said in a rebuild I would take Chase at 2, but it's about he's still producing.
He's
amazing.
producing. I mean,
you know what I mean?
Hasn't he produced more than Diggs at this point?
Oh,
I mean,
he has. He
more
has
than
produced more
Diggs
than
the
Diggs,
touchdowns. So he is producing.
We don't know. But.
Well, I don't know why it wouldn't. That's the thing. I mean, we've seen him with this quarterback produce. And it was in college, but we've seen it. So at least there's a template that it's going to work.
Right.
So I'm a little bit more confident that it's going to continue than I would be otherwise. But yeah, essentially Jamar Chase for me in Dynasty is unacquirable. And I wouldn't sell him. Similar to how I felt about Jefferson before. But yeah, nothing else too much from that game. It was kind of, other than Jamar Chase's big breakout. I'm okay buying T. Higgins also. I'm okay buying T. Higgins.
Yep, firm agree.
And Tyler Boyd, maybe he'll have a good opportunity on a new team at some point soon. Yeah. I think they can get out of that contract after this year. And I think they might. Okay. The Vikings and Lions. The Lions found a way to lose.
True.
What else is new?
Nothing.
How do we feel that Jamal Williams outcarried DeAndre Swift again?
Fantasy-wise, I mean, I guess we're supposed to say we don't care. It's like best case scenario, isn't it? Like in a world where if you had to pick someone who, okay, this is the example, right? You have Swift and Jamal Williams, and then you have JT and Naheem Hines. Like Swift is in the better seat because he's getting goal line carries and targets. And then JT is getting goal line carries and rushes, and then Naheem Hines is getting targets. So, like, for fantasy purposes, best case scenario is what Swift is in, like, out of the two. So, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. Rushing matters to an extent for running backs, but if you're getting as many targets as you do as Swift, and then you still get goal line carries, and you still get touchdowns, then it doesn't really matter.
He got it this week. But it's not.
He's gotten the majority of goal line carries through the season.
I mean, how many touchdowns does Jamal Williams have?
I think the one was a receiving.
I mean, Swift hasn't had that many goal line carries because he only has 2 rushing touchdowns this year in 5 games. So he's either, if he's had a lot of goal line carries, he's not been doing very well with them. Because 2, for someone, of his caliber, you would think would have more than, 2 in 5 games is not great.
Oh, no, he wouldn't. I'm not huge on DeAndre Swift as a rusher. I don't think he's as talented. I mean, he's really good.
Williams
he's a good
also
football
has
player.
So
he's not better than most of the best rushers, though. You know what I mean?
I don't know if I agree with that. I think he's a pretty good rusher. He hasn't been great this year, though, on the ground. He hasn't been great this year.
But he wasn't great last year either. But
Swift
we've also never really seen him with a whole workload of rushing attempts. You know what I mean? Which is good in a way. It's good for his legs. It's good to stay fresh.
Swift is someone I just kind of feel like, do I really want to spend my first-round pick in Dynasty on DeAndre Swift?
I don't.
Not really.
Nope.
Like, he's ranked there, but I don't think he's worth it. So it's the kind of thing where, like, I probably would be trading back or trading out of it. I just, it seems like there's, like, a massive tier from, like, 4 overall. I'm talking 1 QB because it's easier without the quarterbacks in there. But it translated to Superflex, it's kind of the same thing. Just push it down 5 spots.
Right.
It feels like there's a massive tier of running backs and wide receivers, and Swift is kind of at the top of it, but I don't want to pay up for the top. I want to be at the bottom. Like, I'd much rather take, Javonte Williams a round and a half later at that value.
Just a round and a half? It might even be cheaper, right?
It might be. I'm just saying, well, let's say it's 2 rounds then. 2 rounds.
No, I'm all in on that. I love Javonte Williams so far this season. He's only shown me great things.
But, like, I'd rather take Terry McLaurin in Dynasty a round and a half later than DeAndre Swift.
100%.
So, like, I'm just going to trade back if I get in that spot.
Yeah. I was huge on Swift coming into the offseason, but now he's overpriced. I agree. I don't like it.
I think I have him ranked correctly, but his price is too high, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
His trade value also does not equal his ADP value. I looked. I just did an article about this. Trades are not there. They're not there. People aren't getting the iron price for Swift, even though his ADP says you can.
Yeah. Because that's how it works. There's one guy. If there's ever anybody who's overvalued, the easiest way to tell is what you did by looking at ADP versus trade value because it's only one person who has to take that ADP pick. You know what I mean? To affect it. Whereas there's 11 players who have to determine that trade value, or 10 or 9 or however many are in your league. And that means, you know what I mean, that if it's not correlate or if you're not seeing as many trades, it's just not.
I'm famous for
not
saying.
Like everybody's in on. There's 1 or 2 guys who are super in on it.
What do we think of Alexander Madison's 25 carries for 113 yards?
I'm sick of it.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm sick of it. Because my man last year, I had him. The Dalvin Cook goes down for like 1 or 2 games.
Didn't do anything.
I plug him in. Nothing. I'm like, nope, I'm done. I'm done with Madison. He's a plotter. Not interested. Ship him off all my rosters. Dalvin Cook goes down this year. He's been great in 2 games.
Do you think that Madison has earned a Pollard type role when Cook comes back? No. Okay.
No.
So we'll see.
That might be my bias. It could be my bias. But I just feel like Tony Pollard has shown us a lot more. Analytically, he's just been better. He's shown us a lot more.
Tony Pollard has never successfully had 25 carries and 7 receptions in any game, ever.
That's true, but he's also had more fantasy points than Ezekiel Elliott's had since his rookie year. So, I'm more interested in fantasy points, right? So, like, 25 rushes is cool. I don't know, though. It's tough. I mean, it was also, like, the Lions. So, what are you going to do?
I also think I don't know. Tony Pollard is someone that's just like, I get it, but
you're not a Pollard guy.
Not at all.
Okay, that's fine. So you're on Zeke. I wanted to talk about this. You're back. You're like in on Zeke. You like Zeke.
Did I say I was not?
No. Oh no. I'm just asking.
No. I
Okay.
I would sell Zeke.
Oh yeah, obviously. In Dynasty for sure. In
Yeah.
redraft though, like, do you like his rest of the season outcome, like projection?
Not really. I don't
Well,
trust Zeke.
the past 2 weeks, has he like exceeded expectations, or is he like
Yeah,
right there where you thought
anyone
he
can
was?
have a couple of good games. Right?
Oh, so he has exceeded expectations.
Yeah.
I'm low on Zeke. I'm not trying to pitch Zeke to you. I'm just asking.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's been better the last 2 weeks.
Okay,
So
cool. Yeah, no, I'm big on Pollard. I like Pollard a lot. I'm gonna be starting him every week. There's an easy week, and then maybe I'll throw him on the bench when there's not.
you're chasing something you're never gonna get. Unfortunately.
Well, no, I don't expect
No.
Pollard to ever be a workhorse.
Doesn't
I don't
matter.
think Madison is either. That's what's pissing me off about
Madison.
this situation.
No, there's a difference between Madison and Pollard. Madison is bigger, and he's more capable of handling a bigger workload, whereas Pollard is good on limited touches and can't handle more.
Right, but that's
the difference.
Right,
They're two totally
thing is
different
Pollard has performed with Zeke, and Madison does nothing with Cook. That's
Healthy Cook has more left than Zeke. I think that's part of it. I think if Zeke were 2018 Zeke, Pollard would get nothing.
Okay, but we said the same thing about Kenyon Drake and Chase Edmonds, right? So it's kind of a coin flip,
who's
right?
we?
Well, just the community. Like James Conner, we knew he could handle a workload. He'll get injured, whatever. You know what I mean? That's kind of the cycle. And then Chase Edmonds, we knew he's super efficient on the ground. He's super efficient with his touches,
Chase Edmonds is what he is.
but he's never been able to handle the workload, right?
Yeah, so he's what he is then.
Right. So is Alexander Madison? Who is Alexander Madison in this situation? You know what I mean?
None of those people. Alexander Madison is Alexander Madison. Alexander Madison would be like, he's not like Connor. Alexander Madison would be kind of like if you took everything about Dalvin Cook that made him good and took it away, but made him less injury prone. That's Alexander Madison.
Oh, that's
seriously.
not bad.
You took everything about Cook that made him good, took all of that away, but made him a little healthier.
Yeah,
that's Alexander Madison. Seriously, that's what Alexander Madison is. He's someone you can give a bunch of carries to and can absorb them. And
he didn't last year. That's what's so frustrating.
Not expect much from him on them.
Yeah,
he's a jag that can take a lot of carries. He'll get what's blocked and nothing more. But the luxury is you can give him 25 carries.
Yeah,
they just did. If you gave Pollard 25 carries, you'd have a big problem.
I think he did. I don't think he took 25, but he had a lot.
Pollard would wear down though. Pollard's like 183 pounds or so. 183 pounds. What is Madison? Like 2? I think Madison's built pretty regularly for a running back, if I'm not mistaken.
You're talking about. See, this is a question, or not this is a
question.
215. This is a concern I have when players are in the league for so long, and the only weight we have is their combine weight. Like, I feel like that's not.
Well, I can look at the game and look at Pollard and look at Madison, and it's very clear one of those two guys.
Madison does look kind of chunky.
Madison, if anything, he looks a little fat, like a little overweight.
I'm with you there.
Like, that's a running back. I mean, that guy looks a little overweight. Whereas Pollard is like, it's so obvious Pollard is small.
Yeah. Is that Malcolm Brown? I don't know.
Oh my God. Malcolm Brown, speaking of overweight. Malcolm Brown definitely looks overweight. Anyway, we gotta get to the Broncos and the Steelers. But do we really? Was there anything? That game was just
it was good for fantasy though. Like Deontay and Claypool had good games.
Yeah, no, Deontay had 2 targets. But luckily, one of them was like a 50-yard touchdown.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it was a game. We'll see.
I like Javonte Williams a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they have to see that Javonte Williams is a better running back than Melvin Gordon.
So much better.
Right? Yeah, they have to see that. I think next week is the week where you see it become more of a 60-40 instead of a 50-50.
I keep taking him in DFS, just hoping.
I do think next week it becomes a 60-40 and not a 50-50, personally.
Who do they play next week? I don't know.
What is next week? I don't even. Next week is the Raiders. Okay, that could be a good opportunity.
Yeah, I like that.
Raiders
I like that.
So good this week. How do we feel about Cortland Sutton, 7 for 120 and 1?
I like it.
Yeah. How about Noah Fant, 3 for 20? Not so good.
Don't like that. Yeah.
Man, not so good.
Very frustrating.
I wonder. I mean, it's not like anyone tried to tell you that Noah Fant is not really it, right? I mean, nobody. We don't know anyone who could have said something like that he's just a complementary weapon. He's a nice piece of an NFL team, but he's not going to be what we want for fantasy. We wouldn't know anyone who said anything like that, right?
No, I don't know anyone.
You don't know anyone who said that multiple times. And
I know that I said he's going to be a freaking stud.
Yeah.
And
how you feeling?
Hasn't worked out great.
Yeah, no.
But he's been good. Like, he's totally startable. Like, I'm starting him every week.
I can say he wasn't startable, but he's not going to be that guy.
He's better than Joe Schmo on the wire. All right.
That's true. But how Dynasty, how tight end works in fantasy. You either matter or you don't, and he doesn't.
I think I'm still giving him room.
Nah. I mean, it's just
Especially
he's just not
Dynasty. In Dynasty, no. Mm-mm.
He's the first guy who doesn't matter to me, which means he's the one I don't want the most. He's the one I don't want the most. He's the one I absolutely don't want.
So
of everyone.
Hawk Fant, right? You have Hawk over Fant.
Are you kidding? I've always had Hawk over Fant. I've always loved Hawk and always hated Fant.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see.
I think I'm right. I mean,
personally, I don't know. It's tough.
If this is what Fant is giving you without, like, the fact that they're relying on Tim Patrick as their second weapon and not Fant tells me that Fant is not it. He's just
that was one game.
But is it though? Is it one game? I mean, you say it's one game, right? But I mean, who do you think? I mean, let's look at it then. It's one game. I mean, if you look at the season, Noah Fant has more targets than Tim Patrick. More targets. But 3 more targets, but 1 fewer reception and 176 receiving yards versus 302. Not good.
That's usage. He's a tight end. What do you mean?
I'm sorry.
Versus a wide receiver.
You tell me Jerry Jeudy plays half a game in the first 5, and that Noah Fant totals in 5 games 21 receptions for 176 yards. 5 games, 21 receptions, 176 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable.
Hawk hasn't been great.
No, but it's not about. I mean, Hawk has had a big game though.
He's had 2 big games, but Fant's had 3 good games. But the issue here is that Fant is dealing as being in week 1 being the wide receiver 3 on the team essentially, and then week 2 through 5 he's wide receiver 2, right? T.J. Hawkinson should be the wide receiver 1 on that team, like hands down, by far.
5.7 yards per target. 5.7 yards per target, Noah Fant.
That's a QB stat.
Really?
Yes.
Then why do we have 10.8 for Tim Patrick? They're much better going to Tim Patrick.
Because he's a wide receiver. He has
yards per target, though.
Oh, no. Don't get me wrong. The usage isn't great. Don't get me wrong. We're talking about the players, though. With the players Hawkinson is the same still. But usage-wise is miserable.
Fant is just...
He still lines up inside. That's not everything. Fant still lines up inside as a tight end. But if they put him outside...
I'd sell him now. I'd sell him now. Because when Jerry Jeudy comes back... When Jerry Jeudy comes back,
down week,
useless. If this is what Sutton's going to be... Because we saw who the one was. When Jerry Jeudy was healthy, it was obvious. Jerry Jeudy was the one. I mean, he was the guy.
That was one game.
We trust me. Jerry Jeudy's going to be the one when he comes back.
We'll see. I don't know.
Sutton's been inconsistent. So,
he has been inconsistent. I'll give you that.
I think this team has it right. I mean, I think they had it right. With Jeudy as the 1, Sutton is the 2, and then, everyone else kind of behind those 2. I mean, that's what it should be. I think Sutton will do better with Jeudy back. Because Sutton's not ready to be the focal point of the offense. I don't think that's what he is. I think him. I'm not sure that Judy is either, really, to be like the alpha one that everyone just focuses on. But I think if you put them both, they're both good enough to produce. Fant being misused again. Just not happy with him. And I've never been happy with him. To me, he's always just an athletic projection that I've never understood.
Do you think that Sutton doesn't get traded this year, or not traded? Sorry, move this year?
Moved? No.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about Aaron Rodgers, right? And all these quarterbacks being in this
Sutton
debacle.
moved. I mean,
you don't think Sutton is the guy to go?
No, I don't think anyone's going. I think they're going to resign Sutton.
Interesting.
I don't think they have a choice. I don't think they can afford it to let him go.
Well, if they want Aaron Rodgers, they would have to, right?
No, they wouldn't have to. I mean, they have Jerry Jeudy on his rookie deal. Noah Fant still on his rookie deal. They have Tim Patrick's also a free agent. They'll probably let him walk. But I mean, they can afford to sign. I mean, they'll have Javonte Williams on his rookie deal.
Well, no, Aaron Rodgers isn't a free agent at the end of this year, is he? He's got 2 years left,
contract situation. But I mean, they could afford. I mean, it's not like Sutton's going to command $18 million a year.
I just figure if Rodgers gets traded to the Broncos, Sutton is a part of the deal.
Well, he can't be because he's a free agent, so he's not going to be a part of that deal. He's either going to be there or he's not. He can't be a part of an Aaron Rodgers trade this offseason because he's a free agent. So that's not possible. Yeah, that's not possible.
I kind of blanked 2020 out of my.
Yeah, so that's not possible. So
unlucky.
No, and I think that, I mean, what do you think Sutton is going to command? Corey Davis type money? 3 for 40?
Probably less. Right?
I think that's about right though. 3 for 40. They can afford that.
No, 3 for 40. I feel like he's less, isn't he?
Maybe.
I feel like Corey Davis money is absurd. I feel like what they.
Oh, good. Well, then if it's less, then they can definitely afford him, right?
Yeah.
So I just don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's going to be back. Judy's going to be back, obviously, and then it's going to be like it was with Judy as the 1, Sutton as the 2, and Fant as 3. And Fant is the 3 I don't want, which is why I would tell Fant now before you see what happens when Judy gets back, because when Judy gets back, it's going to be bad, and I don't want that. So I would get out personally if I had Fant. But I've never been a big fan of the player, and all he's done is, to me, be exactly what I said he would be, which is someone you're always wanting, never getting exactly what you want.
Dang, we got some good comments in here. Do you see these?
Which ones?
Yeah, I like that one.
We haven't gotten to this. Yeah. Oh, don't get me started. We'll get to that. I'll get to that. Yes, we have a problem with Odell. I think he gets near Sutton? No. I got it, money. He doesn't have that kind of track record.
Yeah.
I think it's too much money. I don't think he's going to get it.
I mean, it's tough. I mean, when he plays, he's good. When he doesn't, he's not there. So
also, if the Broncos felt like he was going to command that kind of interest, they could use a franchise tag on him.
Fair.
So, and that would give them another year to try it to see. So there's just no way he's getting 4 for 78. And also, did that contract work out well for the Giants? Did that work out well? Are my Giants happy that they gave Golladay that money? Do you think that it's going to make another team want to give a wide receiver who's had a couple injury issues that kind of big money? Probably not, right? So no. He's not getting Golladay money. I think, what I said.
Galladay's banged up again, right? 2?
Galladay's just done, but that's a whole another injury. This is like the 3rd different injury just this year, forgetting about the hip from last year.
Yeah.
That's too many injuries for Golladay. But for Sutton, I mean, also if Sutton were smart, I mean, he was a 2nd-round pick, so he didn't get a big rookie deal. If they go to Sutton and are like, hey, look, I don't know what you're getting on the open market. We'll give you 3 for 40 with, most of the first 2 years guaranteed, about 20-25 guaranteed.
I would take.
I mean, that's life-changing money. Wouldn't you consider it if you've only made $3 million in your career?
Yeah. I don't think
that would be a reasonable.
So if he does, I think it's a smash.
I just don't see any way that the Broncos and Sutton, unless he gets injured again, if he's healthy, I don't see any way they don't come to an agreement. I think it's in both of their interests to continue together. And the quarterback can only get better. Teddy Bridgewater is the worst case scenario. It's either better or Bridgewater. So
I actually like Locke personally for Sutton.
Well, Locke sucks. Locke sucks.
But no, he's a terrible real life QB, but he's way better for fantasy purposes, in my opinion. For Sutton at least.
Actually, I don't know. I think Bridgewater's done better with him than I thought he would. He's
done all right. Yeah, he's done all right.
I just think Locke is so bad that I don't want Locke.
Yeah, that's fair.
Bridgewater's been better than I thought he would be. Even in this game, he wasn't awful. It wasn't his best game, but he wasn't bad. Considering he didn't practice all week, and it was against the Steelers. Bridgewater certainly exceeded my expectations this week.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping the Steelers would lose. I'm kind of rooting for a top 10 pick at this point.
I think it's more likely Aaron Rodgers than the top 10 pick.
I know, but I feel like both of those are lower than them just playing with Ben again next year, which is
Oh, you mean the Steelers?
Yes.
Oh, Ben is done. That's not a possibility.
Oh no, I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm hoping for a top 10 pick. I'm a Steelers fan.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So I would like us to lose as many games as possible this year.
Yeah.
And just select the best quarterback available coming out.
Maybe you'll get Aaron Rodgers.
Maybe we'll not. Probably not.
No. Would you look to trade Metcalf? We talked about this. I said no.
Yeah. I mean, we would if it was for.
Well, I mean, if it was for something
Jefferson or Jamar Chase, yeah.
I like Tony, but in Dynasty
draft waivers, you should.
I would pick him up.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't pay a lot though. I'd rather pay money to get.
I also
Booker or what's his name? The other
Darrell Williams.
Darrell Williams. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more interested in Darrell Williams and Devontae Booker because I don't know how much time Jones is going to miss, and if Jones misses time, this offense is going to be a complete disaster.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
So I want to see if Jones is going to miss time with that concussion. You never know. A concussion could be back next week. Concussion could be 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You just don't know. So I need to know about Jones, and that same goes for Tony. If there's no Jones for 3 weeks, I'll pick up Tony still, but not nearly as interested.
Yeah, and then Dynasty, I mean,
Dynasty.
You could trade for him. I don't
think you can trade for him anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what you would pay. I wouldn't feel comfortable paying a second.
I'd pay a second, but you're not gonna get him for that.
I think you. Oh, really?
You won't. Trust me.
Huh.
I would know. You won't. Just given what I've already heard.
People who want to get out.
Given what I've heard on the Dynasty podcast I just listened to today, you're not getting him for a second. It's going to cost. The discussion was mostly around. The discussion was around that it'll probably take a first, and no one was paying it. And then there was a little bit of discussion around 2 seconds. But a second, I would pay it, and there's no way that's going through. So you're not. It sounds like you're not getting Tony then.
Yeah, I feel like there's too many players who live in that world of I'd pay a second. I feel like there's too many players. I feel like it's not as easy as that is how we make it seem usually.
I very much do not make it seem this way, but I would pay a second for Tony. I usually am the one saying no, I won't, when other people are saying yes, I will. I'm usually the one saying no, I won't pay a second, but in this case, I would pay a second for Tony because I was higher on him than most to begin with.
What would you pay for Chase Edmonds?
If I needed him, I would pay a second because that's what you have to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like everyone just lives in that world of I'd pay a second.
No, but see, I probably have about 30 less players in that world than the average Dynasty manager. You just asked me about a good one. You asked me about someone who's been an RB2 this season.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I like Chase Edmonds, but
if you asked
I wouldn't pay a second, though.
Right, okay, but then you're just never going to acquire any contending piece ever. But if you asked me if I would pay a second for Naheem Hines, it would be a no. If you asked me would I pay a second for Devin Singletary or Zach Moss, it would be a no. Whereas a lot of people
pay a second for Zach Moss. Did you listen?
Zach Moss.
Listen to the last episode?
Oh, I did, and I almost turned it off because that was one of the worst pieces of advice I've ever heard anyone give. Yeah. So it was like
on Zach Moss.
Yeah, are you kidding me?
Derrick Henry. I don't know what he was saying.
Come on, what are you talking about? Derrick Henry.
So crazy.
I was like, Derrick Henry's the RB1 right now.
Yeah.
I'd rather have one more game from Derrick Henry than the rest of Zach Moss's career. Come on.
Yeah. I thought that was
This
crazy.
is ridiculous.
He said I would take 2 firsts for Derrick Henry, and then he said I would take Zach Moss straight
I
up.
just traded 2 firsts for Derrick Henry on a desperate contender myself.
I was like, you're crazy.
And I couldn't sell Zach Moss to save my life. I tried. Nobody wanted him. I was like, I guess I'm just going to keep him because it's a contender. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
But nobody wanted him. So
funny.
There's some people
believe that.
Zach Moss had a good game last night, but like,
I like Zach Moss. I do, but
I
not
do not.
Derrick Henry.
I do not like Zach Moss.
Did you get a bad taste in your mouth from week 1?
No, I just don't like Zach Moss. I think that the Bills' 2022 starting running back is not currently on the team. So if I feel that way, then I'm not paying a second for Zach Moss in Dynasty because I'm paying
last year.
Well, no. So I did not feel that last year because last year they had spent thirds on the running back position in 2019 and 2020, but they declined this year. That makes sense because to spend like a day 2 pick 3 years in a row on running back seems excessive. But like now they took a year off from investing in running back. So now I think it's more reasonable that in 2022 they would come back and spend at the running back position with going into the last year of Singletary's contract.
Yeah.
So I do think this year I would bet on them bringing in a significant running back addition, whether it's in free agency or, through the draft. I don't know who's available in free agency. Who's going to be? I mean, it's the usual.
Melvin Gordon.
I don't see them. They could have signed Melvin.
Fit.
Yeah, I mean, they could have signed Melvin Gordon when he was a free agent in the first place.
Last year. But they just drafted Devin Singletary, right?
Oh, sure, but they still could have. I mean,
yeah,
Leonard Fournette could be available.
Ooh, I actually like that.
Leonard Fournette could be available. I think Leonard Fournette has looked better than either of the Bills running backs so far this year. Leonard Fournette's looked good.
Running, but
for
fantasy purposes,
he has looked good. He has looked good running. It's a different Leonard Fournette this year. For me, I've seen a different player. He actually looks good. I'm surprised. Leonard Fournette is actually someone who surprised me as a player so far this year. I've actually been impressed with Leonard Fournette. No, I'm impressed with Leonard Fournette, and buying into him in Dynasty are not the same. I don't buy players like that ever. Running backs in year 5 with a history of failure who are already 26 years old on a new team in time shares. I'm not saying I'm buying Leonard Fournette. What I'm saying is that I believe that if Leonard Fournette continues this way and signs with the Bills next offseason in free agency, he would be their starter. That's for reality purposes.
Yeah, is
what I believe, is that he would be the best of those 3 players. And just something to consider. If I just think that they're not gonna continue with Moss and Singletary as they do. I think they feel that they need an upgrade. Because I do feel like it's the one thing they're missing is to have a real running back you can trust.
Well, it's actually Josh Allen. Josh Allen is
right, and I agree with you. But I think that if they had a real running back they could trust, what if you had Jonathan Taylor in that offense? What if you had that element to add to everything Josh Allen delivers? What if you had that? Imagine that could be one of the best offenses of all time. If you didn't have Moss and Singletary, who are just like whatever players. If you had Jonathan Taylor, imagine that. Do you see what I mean?
No, it'd be great.
That's all I'm saying. I feel like it's their biggest weakness.
I agree.
They don't have any weaknesses. What are now they have Dawson Knox too. Dawson Knox has been great. So that was one of that's what I felt was a big weakness for them was tight end, but it's not a weakness anymore.
Yeah.
So they really have no weaknesses other than running back. So that's why I'm not buying into Moss, is because I think it's he's gonna be replaced. Actually, I have a good answer to this question. Where would I like to see Juju end up in the offseason? I actually think he should start a professional Fortnite league. I think his talents are better served there. He would make more money. I think he would make more money with his Team Juju brand not playing football than he would playing football. I don't think the free agency market is going to be very kind to him. Don't you agree? Do you think that Juju Smith-Schuster could make more money playing football next year or not playing football?
I think both. I think both is the answer.
I literally think
for football, I guess, but that's I think he takes a deal somewhere. I still think he gets 8 to 12 mil. Last year was an anomaly. Last year was an anomaly with no cap space, and
no way. I'll bet you right now.
He'll get 8 to 12 probably, and then in the offseason, he can still do that Fortnite stuff.
I'll bet you right now on his contract, 8 or less. I'll take less than this year's. Less money than he got this year.
Well, yeah, but you're favored.
Well, you just admitted that I'm favored.
Yeah, you're favored, but I'm saying what I think.
Oh, sure, but you just said that
it's not like I go into Vegas. It's not like I go into my sports book and I look at the Giants are favored 2.5 points.
Right, but
like,
you just said that I have a better odds.
I think they're gonna win.
So then you actually think it's more likely to be less than 8.
That's what the consensus thinks, and I'm not smarter than the consensus, so I'm not gonna bet against it unless I feel very firm. And if I do, then I get those odds. I get that plus 150. You know, if you want to give me plus 150, I'll take over 8.
Oh my god.
That's how bets work. That's how odds work.
All right.
But Juju, I mean, I would have loved to see him. If Mike Williams leaves this year, I'd love to see him with the Chargers. Personally,
they're not letting Mike Williams leave.
Probably not.
There's no way.
With good reason.
They're gonna use the franchise tag on Mike Williams.
I mean, Will Fuller was a 1-year deal, right? So like the Dolphins want to be terrible.
If they have Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. If they got Deshaun Watson and Juju, that would just be insane.
But
get
there.
Well,
you already have
I don't like Jalen Waddle, really. So, are you talking about Devontae Parker?
No, I think that Juju is just a worse version of what they want to do with Jalen Waddle. So I just don't see.
Oh, no. Jalen Waddle. No. I don't like Jalen Waddle.
I mean, they're playing Jalen Waddle out of the slot.
His profile is terrible.
Fast and Juju's slow.
Jacoby Brissett doesn't like him. Tua didn't like him that much either. I'm not in.
Oh, I'm so in. I actually couldn't be more in on Jalen Waddle.
I can see that because I'm now all the way out. Yeah.
I've actually loved what he's done. Everything I've seen has made me more in. They're making an effort to get him targets as a rookie. I like that.
I don't know. Mike Gesicki looks like the team's number 1 with Brissett.
I've liked Gesicki. Gesicki's look good. They are going to struggle to retain all of these people, though. They probably can't.
Yeah.
Gesicki could get the franchise tag, though. They do have a franchise tag out there. He would be a good candidate for the tight end franchise tag.
Something, right? For tight end.
It's not that expensive. It's like 11, 12 million.
11 for a tight end?
Remember that a couple of tight ends just got, it's the average of the top 5.
Yeah, I know.
A couple of tight ends just got big deals.
Dang. That's high as hell. I don't know if I'd pay that.
Yeah. I wouldn't pay it on a long-term deal, but I might.
Franchise tag, I get you. Yeah.
Well, I might be. I mean, I'd probably rather pay Gesicki 11. I mean, look, the Patriots gave Jonnu and Hunter Henry 12.5 a year for multiple years.
Yeah.
So I might be willing to try out Gesicki for 11 million for 1 year instead of committing to those two for at least 2, probably 3 years, like the Patriots did, and having Jonnu run 8 pass routes.
Yeah, I mean, fair. What do you think about the Browns? Odell and Jarvis have to be coming up, right?
Yeah, they can get out of both of those deals after this year.
Yeah, so
for no dead.
Juju and Baker. I mean, he would never do it, but that would be interesting.
They're not do that. They're not going to go away from the guys they have for Juju.
There's not a lot of. Well, I just don't think Juju would play for the Browns. Realistically, I just don't think he would.
I think Juju's going to come crawling back to Pittsburgh on a 1 year, $2 million deal.
He already did a 1 year. I don't think he is. I don't think he will.
No one's giving him more than a year.
I'm trying to think of teams that
because nobody wants him. That's what I'm saying.
I'm thinking of teams that like need him or whatever.
Nobody needs him. He went out and the offense didn't matter. Nobody needs him. Nobody wants him. I really think that Juju should just go and be Juju and have a great life and not have to take a bunch of hits on a football field and make his millions of dollars that he could make being Juju. I really do. I mean, I know that's not what he wants, but I mean, he has every opportunity. He has the social media chops that I would kill to have.
Yeah. So I guess the Texans, right? Is Cooks is on his last deal, right?
They can keep him around. It's they don't have much dead money, but I think they're probably going to keep him with the way
Well,
he's
then maybe they keep him. They draft a new quarterback this year, and they pick up Juju.
He could go there. I mean, but wherever he goes, he's lost any trust he has from the Dynasty community at this point. It's only the hardcore Juju truthers who are still going to be in. Like, most people are going to come around to my side of being out. There were people who were out after 2019. They got out after 2019. Those were the very smart people. I was not one of those people. Then there were the people who saw enough in 2020, like me, and were like, I'm just done with this guy. This guy is not. 2018 was a mirage, and 2019 and 2020 are the real thing. I was in that group. But then there were the people this offseason who still believed, because they were like, the production was there at a young age. But at this point, it's only going to be the like real Juju truthers who are still going to want him, and everyone else is just going to be out. It's like Odell at this point. I mean, it's just been so many years.
Well, Odell is old.
No, but it's like Odell was in 2019.
Also, Odell was like really good.
Yeah, Odell was a lot better.
Yeah,
but it's like 2019 Odell. Or 2020 Odell.
Honestly, what I've learned is that Eli Manning is underrated.
Well, as a Giants fan, I think Eli Manning is highly overrated.
No, I mean, I'm sure everybody thinks he's overrated, or everybody thinks he's not a Hall of Famer. But he made Odell good. He made Barkley amazing. No.
The only thing about Eli Manning is he's a force feeder.
And he won 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, and how many of those were with Odell?
Hey, I'm just saying.
How did force-feeding Odell go for the Giants' record? Very poorly. It went very well for Odell's stats, but it was horrible for the Giants.
Yeah.
So I believe me, I would know as a very frustrated Giants fan for those years. It was it worked better for our fantasy teams than them.
Ryan. Hey, buddy.
We love you.
We were supposed to do a show this morning, but then unfortunately Matt had to get called into work, so we weren't able to.
Yeah, work is such an inconvenience.
It's so upsetting, isn't it?
It really is. Best running back option on waivers. Assume this means redraft. Darrell Williams,
I guess, right? I prefer Booker because I like Booker as a player more.
But what if Jones?
Scenario? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the scenario is in favor of Williams.
Yeah, I would say that if
I like Booker a lot as a player. He looked really good last year with the Raiders when he had opportunities. And I was really rooting for Wayne Gallman to be the guy in Miami. Well, no, in San Francisco. And then now in Miami. So, I like the backups for the Giants. So I think Booker could do well. But I agree, there is a situational standpoint. They're playing the Rams this week. And they might not have Jones.
I'm not playing Booker.
Missing Galladay, probably still missing Shepard and Slayton, maybe depending. So it's not looking good for the team as a whole. Booker might be dead in the water, but
yeah, I'm not playing Booker. I'm not playing Booker this week.
Probably not
against the Rams. I guess can't.
I mean, Collins put up 12 points, right? He had
But that was with the Seahawks offense.
I mean, I get that, yeah. But
the Giants,
if I got 10 points from Booker, I'd be happy.
Oh, I don't know if you're going to get that. I mean, the Giants with Mike Glennon, this could be just...
Hey, Mike Glennon looked decent with the Jaguars last year, okay?
Oh, did he? But they do have some better matchups coming up because, well, actually, the next 2 weeks for Booker are not great because the Rams and then the Panthers. Panthers are not.
Well, the Panthers are weird, right? Because they're so young, but also good. That it's like, I expect errors. I expect room for errors,
But the Panthers did really well. They did well against the run this week against the Eagles.
Right. But it was also Miles Sanders and Nick Sirianni and Kenny Gainwell. I don't know what's going on with that whole mess. What is it? Miles Sanders is bad?
How Nick Sirianni is incompetent.
Oh, no. Yeah, I agree. Okay, I'm glad we're on the same page.
Miles Sanders is
He's not bad either.
Miles Sanders is good, not great.
Yeah.
I
like that.
Acceptable. He's
better than Moss and Singletary.
He's better than Moss and Singletary, but he's not as good as, say, Like, I mean, I can tell you where I have Miles Sanders ranked in Dynasty. I have him
I think
below.
he's just under like David Montgomery.
Well, but see, like,
as a player,
I'd rather have an injured J.K. Dobbins over a healthy Miles Sanders, for example.
Right now, 100%. I totally agree.
I'd even rather, honestly, with what the Rams offense has looked like, I'd rather have an injured Cam Akers and just take my chances. Just take my chances because Miles Sanders not giving me anything.
I like it though. I like that. I think it's bold and I like it. Oh man, I can't tell you. I haven't talked about this anywhere. I haven't talked about this on Twitter. I haven't talked about it on live.
Ooh, we're getting an
exclusive.
I don't know if I want to talk
about it yet. I don't know if I want to talk about it yet because I still want to go get shares. And I know that there's people.
Nobody listens to this show. I promise.
No, but I know there's people in my leagues that do pay attention to my stuff. I want Darrell Henderson. I like Darrell Henderson for the rest of the season. I think Darrell Henderson has been amazing. Like nothing short of amazing. And he's probably my top trade target in redraft leagues if you can make trades happen. And in Dynasty, I would pay the second and more. I would pay Darrell Henderson. I would pay for Darrell. I like Darrell Henderson this year a lot.
Oh, in redraft, I'd love to buy.
Well, as a contender in Dynasty too, like I'm willing to put money down, not money, but I'm willing to pay a lot to get that running back if I'm running back needy in Dynasty right now.
What would you pay?
I would pay probably 2 seconds. I would probably pay a 22 and a 23 second.
You will not get him for that.
I would pay more, but I'd rather pay what I said.
You won't get
more though. What do you think? I don't know.
You won't get him for less than the first now.
Who do you think is in that range? I mean, I would pay Cam Akers. I would pay Miles Sanders. I would pay Miles Sanders in a second.
I mean, I
would pay any of the guys that we're talking about in a second. I would pay like Miles Sanders, Cam Akers in a second, J.K. Dobbins in a second.
I think there's a chance that Cam Akers comes back and is Cam Akers because
he could. I'm not even paying for Darrell Henderson.
But remember something. When we were talking about Cam Akers in the offseason, we were not as confident in the offense. Mm-hmm. We thought that he needed to have an 80% touch share to be an RB1. I thought he was going to get it. But now we see that that's not the case. Timeshare Cam Akers can be an RB1 in this offense. 65% of touches Cam Akers can be an RB1 in this offense. And now that I know that that's a possibility, I don't want to let Cam Akers go.
Well, Darrell Henderson has always been right there with Cam Akers. Neck and neck analytically right there. So for me, I'm more
That's just one of those things. That's just one of those things where the analytics can say that, and then I just look and I'm like, no. It's obvious which of these two players is better. You just look for 5 minutes.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that Darrell Henderson is a better football player, like in real life, or he's not be better, or that he's better for fantasy if they're both there. But I'm saying with where Darrell Henderson is right now, how he's looked, and then with Cam Akers being with the Achilles, I'm really in on Darrell Henderson. We saw Marlon Mack. Everybody knew Marlon Mack was better than your average Joe. He was better than your average Joe. They still drafted Jonathan Taylor, but he was better than Zach Moss. He was better than Zach Moss and Devin Singletary. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's a tier of like, oh, you're a starter in the NFL, like above those guys. So for me, Darrell Henderson, it's very possible he's the guy for multiple years, or it's just this year. In either way, I'm willing to pay Miles Sanders, who we don't like that much, in a second for it, or Cam Akers in a second. I would pay Cam Akers straight up. I don't know what their value are right now, but I would pay a good chunk to get Darrell.
I guess I'd pay Cam Akers straight up if I had to, but I really would not want to.
Yeah, we're only talking about contender. I have 3. No, I have 3 rebuilds going on. No, 4. Sorry, I took on an orphan this year, so I have 4. I don't have any running backs that are startable. I don't have a single one.
Oh, that's what I do in a rebuild. Yeah.
Kenny Gainwell is my best starter out of all 4, and I only have him on 1 league, and I'm trying to trade him. So for me, I'm selling any of these guys, but then I would take Cam Akers as a dart throw. But yeah, Darrell Henderson on a contender or on a middling team that might need a push, I'm all the way in.
I feel like it's easy to rank him. I mean, yeah, he's pretty easy to rank in Dynasty for me. I still have him in the same spot.
That he was last year?
No.
Or I mean, that he was pre-Akers injury?
No, that he was 4 weeks ago. He really has.
No, yeah. No, I'm not saying he should move up or down in dynasty rankings. I'm saying in redraft rankings he moves up, which inherently means in contender rankings he moves up.
Yeah, it's more that I think I need to move Miles Sanders down than that I think I need to move Darrell Henderson up.
I agree. Because I think Nick Sirianni, even though we think
no,
he's terrible,
I'm just finished. Miles Sanders, I'm just done with. I think I'm good.
Yeah, I agree. I wrote a thread on him this year. I thought he was going to be amazing, Nick Sirianni. I thought he was going to look at Boston Scott. I thought he was going to look at
Miles Sanders never there.
Boston Scott. And
I was out on Miles Sanders the whole time. I was
really?
Oh, no.
I was pretty in on him because I liked him because he was similar to Barkley in that he wasn't amazing every run, but he had breakaway runs. He was really good at being able to break away.
So I watched a video.
What's that?
A video of Carson Wentz's mistakes. And I wondered halfway through it if the video were mistitled because all I saw was Miles Sanders just dropping the ball, running the wrong route, going the wrong direction.
I agree.
I mean, he is just
sketching was not great. But that's why I said Jonathan Taylor and Nyheim Hines. That's where Nick Sirianni came from. Boston Scott was better in the passing game. And so I thought that it was going to be Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, JT, Hines. Obviously, Sanders not as good as JT, but still serviceable. But then they draft Kenny Gainwell. Now, Kenny Gainwell has been just as good / almost better than Nyheim Hines in fantasy. More targets, I think. So it's hurt Sanders way more than I thought it would. And now we're looking at Kenny Gainwell as a starter, and Miles Sanders kind of isn't unless he gets a touchdown, and I'm not really too interested in that. So I'm with you. I just bought into Nick Sirianni being better.
In Happy Valley, well, I never liked Nick Sirianni. In Happy Valley, and people don't seem too happy.
Eagle, I'm sure that's an Eagle. That's a Philadelphia area or something.
Be, yeah.
He's an Eagles fan, obviously.
Oh, I know.
To the people watching, Eagles fan.
Speaking of Lenny, he looks really solid, apparently.
Damon is smart.
Never Rojo. Never Rojo.
I love Rojo as a football player.
I'm so sorry.
And as a fantasy asset, I'm done. I never wanted to look at him again.
The man is like...
Yeah. No, I agree.
Being good 20% of the time means you're bad. That's just how it works.
He's always good when running the football. And he's never good doing anything else. And if he fumbles, he's dead in the water. And I just can't.
He can't get out of his own head. There's some. I think this is something you're gonna find out about later. There's some issue with Rojo. There's something. It's not just
so young, you know.
But it's not just that. There's something about him that we're gonna find out later that is gonna put the piece of the puzzle together as to why he's had so many mental struggles throughout his career with fumbling and with missing protections and constantly getting yanked from the game, because it's more than one coaching staff doing this. This happened with a rookie when he was a rookie with Dirk Cutter, and then it happened again with Bruce Arians. Maybe because also Bruce Arians, he has a history of treating some players this way, but not really, not like this that often. It's not like he does this with every player.
Well, and the bigger issue too is that he just has better options. Not
better.
Yeah,
but I feel like
better in the way that Leonard Fournette is just amazing, better runner. But you have Giovanni Bernard there, and you have Leonard Fournette. Like, if Rojo's messing up, why would you continue with him? You know what I mean? Why would you wait and see? You know. Whereas with a team like Zach Moss and Devin Singletary, sure, they have to switch back and forth. They have to, play to their strengths. But when you have three guys on a team that are decent, and they all have their own positive and negatives, obviously Rojo is going to be the odd man out there, especially when Leonard Fournette's playing pretty well.
Oh, yeah. But I just don't think this is an Arians issue. I think this is a Rojo issue. Because I don't think Arians, we talk about it being an Arians backfield, but it's always been Rojo is the one who's always pulled. Not everyone else, just Rojo.
Fournette's seen time miss last year. I can't remember any this year.
Well, that was
in the postseason, I didn't see any last year for Fournette, but in the regular season, there was a couple games where I remember him getting yanked.
But the difference was that Fournette was just absolutely awful. So it made sense as in those games. So it made sense as a coaching decision. But with Rojo, it just seems like there's this pattern that's not. I just don't think this is Arians. It's that one fumble, one mistake, and he's pulled. There's something. There has to be something. There has to be something with Rojo that we don't know. That's the only explanation for what's been going on, because it's been going on since his rookie year, and that was with Dirk Cutter.
Well, I'm firm. I think it's because he was too young. What did he come in? He was 20 when he got drafted, right?
Maybe, but I mean, there have been other players to do that and succeed.
Well, yeah, but then there's also like a million quarterbacks who get drafted too young, can't handle it. You know what I mean?
I think it's a mental. Done it well. Plenty of players.
Mental issue.
Jamar Chase was
21, man.
Sure, but like he was what, 2 months younger, 2 months older than Rojo as a rookie. I mean, Justin Jefferson was like 2 months older than Rojo was as a rookie. Kyle Pitts is younger than Rojo was as a rookie. I mean, there are players who come in at that age all the time, and not all of them have these kind of issues. So I think it's a Rojo specific issue. I don't know what it is, but there's something.
Yeah.
I
like the second. Yeah, I like this one. I like this one a lot.
Chase, rest of season. Yeah, we didn't talk really about rest of season. We talked about Dynasty. Rest of season, I mean, it's probably low end 1 at this point.
Ooh, low end 1.
Yeah.
Because you got Mike Williams. You're right. You got Mike Williams ahead, right? Tyreek Hill ahead.
I'd rather have Chase than Mike Williams.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Cooper Kupp. Okay, so that's 2, and then Devontae Adams. Yeah. Justin Jefferson. Yeah. DK Metcalf.
Ooh, with Wilson. That's tough. I really got to think about how bad Geno Smith is going to be and how long. I think that's rest of the season. I'll take Chase.
What's their schedule like? Let me look.
It doesn't matter as much to me. This is a can Geno Smith throw the ball period problem. The schedule, I don't care. Nobody can stop DK Metcalf. So next is the Steelers, which is not great, but
not great.
But to me, it's not about the schedule. It's just
New Orleans is not great either.
But then the Jaguars and the Packers, which are pretty good. But this is more can Geno Smith competently deliver the ball, and how is Russell Wilson missing 4 games? Is he missing 6 games?
Well, he misses 4, right? He misses 3, and then the bye week comes back against the Packers. I kind of like that.
Yeah, we'll see. But I would rather have Chase with Burrow than Metcalf with Geno Smith. So it's just a question of how long that's going to be. So I'll play it safe and give me Chase rest of season redraft.
Okay. I mean, I like that. that. I don't even know who else is on that top tier. I mean, obviously Diggs we're putting under.
I'd still rather have Diggs, yeah. Even though he hasn't been that great, I'd still rather have Diggs.
Ooh, you'd rather have Diggs than Chase?
Rest of season, yes.
Okay. I think I might take Chase there. I'm thinking he's closer to like 7 or 8 than.
I'd rather have Hill.
Oh yeah, I'd rather have Hill for sure.
I mean, I'd rather have Hill, Jefferson, Adams, Diggs. Let's see. That's a few. Yeah, maybe there aren't as many as I thought. Kupp. I'd still rather have Nuke.
Okay, I like that. I like Hopkins.
That's already 6.
That's what I said. I think
Adams, Diggs, Hill. I'm just looking weekly rankings. Adams, Diggs, Hill, Kupp, Jefferson, Nuke. That's 6. DJ Moore.
Terry McLaurin or DJ Moore, yeah.
I'd rather have DJ Moore rest of season, not Dynasty, but rest of season. So that's 7. Let's see who else is on there. Yeah, there aren't that many more.
I think I have him.
So then maybe he'd be 8.
I think I have him 7 because I'd rather not have Diggs. I would take. Oh no, I'd have him 8. I'd have him 8. I'd rather have Terry McLaurin and DJ Moore, but not Diggs.
Oh, Terry McLaurin is close actually for me.
Yeah, I'd rather have Terry McLaurin and Diggs, and then have him 8 with Diggs at 9. So then that would put you
Keenan Allen is
with
close
Diggs
too
inside.
for me still, even now.
Well, Keenan Allen or Mike Williams, right? So,
I Keenan Allen for me still. Keenan Allen.
okay.
Dynasty Mike Williams for the youth, but he's not that much younger, but he's still younger.
Right.
2.5 years. So it's enough to swing it the other way. But in redraft, rest of the season, I'll still take Keenan Allen.
I like that. So let's say
I trust Keenan Allen a lot. I mean, I trust Justin Herbert.
Gonna get targets, gonna get catches, gonna get yards.
I mean, he has 8 or more targets in every single game. So I trust Justin Herbert to support fantasy options probably as much as anyone. I mean, Keenan Allen on the year but Mike Williams has more touchdowns, more yards. So it's tough.
Are king. He gets more red zone looks.
They're close. Those two are close, Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Yeah, I'd probably have them close.
Well, I looked at the end of week 4. Mike Williams and Keenan Allen had the same exact touchdown or red zone targets, but then Mike Williams ended up scoring on more.
So maybe there's a bit
by
of
double.
In there.
Yeah, so it's totally possible.
Ridley, no. Believe in Ridley so much, but it's tough.
Yeah. I mean, I like that list. I think that's
I guess it's like 9 it's around 9 then.
So you would take Terry or no?
It's tough. Terry and Ridley are tough. Metcalf is tough too. That's the tier though, from like 8 to 12.
Yeah.
So, nice.
Yeah. Metcalf, I think I have him 8.
Terry, Ridley, sure. All in there with Chase. So I mean it's he's wide receiver. Oh, and then it's AJ Brown. I feel I can't trust him.
Yeah, but no, I would rather have Chase for now.
I'd put AJ Brown at the bottom of that tier for the rest of the season. CeeDee Lamb similarly.
No, I
a little bit more.
CeeDee Lamb a lot. I've moved CeeDee Lamb a lot. With Dalton Schultz being so involved and Michael Gallup being out, I think it's crazy. I think it's crazy to assume Michael Gallup comes back and then somehow CeeDee Lamb is more involved and Dalton Schultz is not. So I'm not as in on CeeDee Lamb as I was coming into the year.
I'm more likely to quit on AJ Brown than I am on CeeDee Lamb. Because
not me.
Tannehill, not me. First Dak.
Yeah, I mean, I get that for sure. But I still see AJ Brown as the 1, whereas CeeDee Lamb is like the 2/3 right now, and that's without Gallup. And we like Gallup, so when Gallup comes back, and that will be soon.
But AJ Brown hasn't done anything at all.
Well, Ryan Tannehill hasn't been able to do much. So, I think
AJ Brown didn't do anything this week without Julio.
Yeah.
Lamb is safer than Brown, but Brown has more upside. Lamb's gonna give you something. He's gonna give you something. He's not gonna completely burn you. Whereas if Ryan, because Dak's not gonna become bad.
Well, he had 2 points last week, I think, right?
Lamb? Yeah. No, Lamb was Brown was the one who gave you nothing.
No, Lamb had 2 points.
No, he didn't have 2 points. Lamb has had he didn't have 2 points last week. He had 4 for 84 and a touchdown.
Oh, my bad. That forgot.
Yeah, that was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. But Carolina had 3 points. 2
Yeah.
Yeah, 3. Pretty much.
But AJ Brown hasn't. I mean, what has he had? What's his season high in receiving yards? It's bad. I don't know what's going on with AJ Brown. Yeah, AJ Brown hasn't.
With CeeDee Lamb, if we take out the first game, it's a lot worse.
Right,
because
but
in the first game they threw on a much higher rate than they have the rest of these games.
No, I know, but AJ Brown is even worse.
More targets though, on average.
No.
Yeah, 8, 9, and 6.
What about the 2?
He went out early. He only played 12.
I mean, it's not more targets on average. I mean, Lamb had 15 in one game. So
8, 9, 16, what is that? 17.
Yeah, but if you throw
23 divided by 3 is almost 8 per game.
Yeah, but if you throw a 15 in there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna do that real quick. 15, 9, that's 24, 27, 32, 38 divided by 5 is what? 38 divided by 5.
Also,
It's
like
that's less than
Brown
8.
is
That's
Brown.
less, they're like the same or less.
Yeah, it's
And
Brown.
CD's been lucky to
I mean,
get
Brown's
not
only
lucky,
caught
but he's
10
had
of his
two
25
touchdowns.
targets. 10
AJ
of
Brown's,
20.
AJ Brown's due for a regression too, and touchdowns.
Yeah, but also
8 and 11, and then now only 1 in 4 or 1 in 3 games.
well, I mean, CeeDee Lamb could get some more touchdowns. I mean,
That's not his
345,
thing though. He only had 4 last year, right?
but that was playing with
5.
Dalton.
Well,
That was playing with Dalton. He has more yards and more receptions per game this year, but
he had 2 touchdowns with Dak, 3 with Dalton.
2 of the 5 in the 4 games with Dak, and then 2, and then 3 in the 13 or 12 with Dalton.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very close for me. I mean, room for improvement. I guess you give CeeDee Lamb an edge, but as far as team scenario is concerned, like AJ Brown has all the.
I'm more worried about Julio coming back than I am about Gallup coming back.
Maybe.
I haven't heard anything about Gallup coming back. Like, there's not even any. He was eligible to come off IR this week. And there's no discussion.
Well, we knew it was going to be 6 weeks, I thought.
No, we did not know that. When the injury first happened, they were like, he's going to be back in the 3. And then all of a sudden, it seems like.
Oh, I remember someone saying I saw 6 somewhere.
No, that was Judy. Those happened the same week. But no. Gallup, they thought there was a good chance he would return when eligible. They didn't think this calf injury was a big deal when it first happened, but all of a sudden it's been a big deal.
Yeah. That's tough.
It's been worse than they thought. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. But I've heard like nothing about Gallup, which is a bad sign.
Not good.
You know, he's someone who's costing himself a lot of money with every day that he sits.
Yeah, I feel bad for him. Too talented to not be good.
He's someone I actually do feel bad for.
Miles Gaskin, that's a huge.
I don't even know. That
Miles
one.
Gaskin, I mean, I sat him everywhere last week.
Nobody started him. Nobody started. Against Tampa, nobody started.
2 receiving touchdowns, though.
I don't know. I don't know if you can predict that. But I feel like this is going to be frustrating now all year with Gaskin.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I feel like we've recapped it.
Trying to think of other people. I mean, Jalen Hurts was terrible, but still did well.
I love it. He was terrible, but he still did well.
Yeah, he was terrible, but he still won the game, and he still produced for fantasy. Like, you can't ask for more.
Yeah.
Oh, you can. He could be good.
Well, you can always ask for more.
Yeah. I mean, DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams. We talked about that a little bit, right?
Yeah. No, I think we're good. I need to take a nap.
I like naps.
Yeah, no, I'm totally just out of it. Anyway, tell the people where they can find your stuff.
Yeah, check us out at the Fantasy Newsroom on Twitter, FantasyNR, and JTRB1. Ryan's been in the comments. If you're live or you're watching on YouTube, it's on the screen right now. Ryan Pro, pretty legit guy. And then Matt Too Frosty is one of my best friends. So appreciate you guys checking him out.
Yeah, so I think the people know where they can find me at this point. I hope they do. Right? Whether they know whether they can find me or not, they'll find a way to find me.
Yeah.
Anyway.
His name's Tyler. I mean, how many Tylers are there out there,
Aren't that many. But yeah, there's the Twitters. And I put the Patreon in the chat. That would be nice. And hopefully we'll be able to do these recaps more often, but you never know. No promises. Thanks, Ryan.
Appreciate you, Ryan.
All right. Anyway, peace.
Peace.